Hi and welcome to Keep Talkin. My name is Kristin, and I couldn't think of a better way to have an inaugural episode than by having these four fine bearded gentlemen with me to kick it off here today. We've got Clint, Jordan, Jeremy, and Broms. Now we're here to talk about an upcoming fundraising show that you guys are putting on, and we'll get to that in a second, but why don't we start with some introductions? We barely know each other, right? So tell me a little bit about the band or group that you're with, a little bit about your musical background. Clint, we'll start with you.
I play drums in Tinnitus and Wreckin, and at this show, I also play with these two guys.
Mm-hmm. That we do. We're a good group, actually. Yeah. The best group out of all four.
Easily. No offense to you and your crappy group, but we're the best ones.
The best. So I'm Jordan. I'm in a band called New Renaissance, and I play guitar in that and sing. And I sing in our group and play guitar as well. And so does this guy.
It's true. I'm Jeremy. I'm a little disappointed that everyone had their real names except for Broms got a nickname. Can I have a nickname too?
Well, what would you like your nickname to be?
Can it be Broms?
I think that one's spoken for.
Okay, then I'll go with
If
Jeremy.
you can come up with something creative before the end of the show, it's yours.
Skeeter?
I like Skeeter.
Okay, cool. Good. I'm Skeeter. So I have to admit, I didn't really know what was going on tonight. And I only came here because these guys told me that we were going to have what are those things called when you...
Talk to people on a couch type
like
setting?
Intervention. Because our friend Broms here has been dabbling in poetry, and we've
I've heard about
super
that.
bad.
So I thought we were going to get to address. I wrote a letter and everything. It starts out, Broms, your poetry has affected my life.
We really care about you, but
So I play with Civil Disobedients, sing and play guitar, and mainly I'm in charge of sarcasm for the whole group.
Okay, good. Somebody has to be.
That's what I do.
I'm
Absolutely.
glad it's in good hands
Right?
here.
Thank you.
Broms?
I'm in charge of poetry and interventions. Actually, they're in charge of the intervention. I'm just showing up for it. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate that. The rest of my group couldn't be here today because there's 3 other guys on the couch and it's only a 4-seater. Mm-hmm. But I'm part of the first group that usually plays on the 90s show that night, and I'm part of a hip-hop group called the Filthy Animals. When I'm not writing poetry, I'm rapping about
You're a dirty,
a lot of unmentionables.
dirty animal. Okay.
Yeah.
Unmentioned, just underwear, straight up.
Yeah, it's just straight up gitch.
Nice.
Now, we left out a little something here. Clint, you're basically the brains of the operation of the 90s show, right? It's your baby?
It is.
It is.
It's yours, man. Captain chair.
You should talk about that.
Very nice. Okay, so it's the 3rd annual this year, coming up April 2nd at Nashville. Where did the idea come from in the first place? Why 90s?
Because it's the best music.
It's the era.
All right.
It's the era, yeah.
I think it's like a lot of people grew up at that time right now. Like, I mean, not right now. A lot of people that...
there are people growing up right now, too.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm saying is that, like, no matter what age you are, you're probably around for the 90s, and it's probably safe to say that. What? Yeah. I'm bad at math. I'm bad at math.
What if you're born in 2002?
So, okay.
That should be a poem.
I think it is.
What I'm saying is that, like, the 90s had all sorts of different genres. A lot of things were popping off then. I mean, you had, like, grunge, you had metal, you had hip-hop that was, like, in the golden era of its time.
Even had the new metal, which was hip hop and metal.
Which was a fusion of both. And
didn't
I think
have dubstep.
It didn't have all that stuff, and
true,
all that stuff wasn't around, which is fantastic. We were kind of, exonerated from that. But now, I mean, so for us, I mean, we're that age that we grew up in that pocket. So it just made sense that we wanted to bring that. And Clint was like, you guys are all fans of that era. Why don't we bring that and bring everybody out that's going to enjoy that, And I think that's why we get the crowds that we do, because there's so many people that have that lust for the 90s, you know what I mean? And it's like everybody that's in the crowd is just having a great time because we're all playing different genres from that, from that
era,
that capsule, So I think for me, it's like, yeah, I'm a hip hop guy, but I grew up listening to all sorts of different types of music, and I think Clint kind of recognized that, and Jordan and Jay, same thing. Is like we're all just sort of like this mosaic of different like musics that brought us together, and the 90s is that.
So it's just a chance for you guys to get up there and play some of your very favorite songs with people that you don't usually get to play with, right?
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
I'm
That's
actually on
the
the
whole
other end of
idea.
it. I hate the idea of playing cover songs. I was never a huge fan. I'm not even kidding. I was not a fan.
So how are you going to suck it up?
Well,
were
but here's
in
the
a
thing.
cover group,
So
though.
I was, and that's why I hated it. Right? It always felt like prostitution a little bit to me. Not in a real sense, but just like, we could be playing our own originals and we're playing. But that being said, after the first year, I absolutely realized why this is a fun thing. Because these are some of our favorite songs that I'd never even thought of learning how to play. And to see the fans react to all these songs, like you'll play a popular song from the 90s and you see everyone in the crowd singing along and totally into it in a way that it sucks to say, but they aren't for an original show. Because they grew up with this music too, right? So
Well, they don't know the next line at an original show, right?
absolutely. So I was completely wrong when I started out not liking it, and it's the best thing ever.
Well, we're glad it won you over.
Actually, he
Thank
said
goodness.
no.
I did say no. I
You said
absolutely said no. Yeah, I did.
You did.
Well, but I play hard to get. So
So run down how this night is going to work. There is a ton of local talent involved. Name a couple people that you know personally that are participating, and how do you put them together for the groups? Because you basically form like mini bands that you're not in.
The first year, I kind of split everyone up randomly into 3 groups, and the idea was to change the groups every year to kind of mix it up, but no one wanted to change, so it's all the same groups.
It worked out well. Like all the groups that were chosen, I think that their genre of
Music-
90s
music
really
there.
fit with each other, right?
Yeah.
So, the first group, you guys are really good with like your alt rock and like the hip hop and like rage kind of influences. We're kind of grungy, so we kind of like that grunge tone. And then the last group is
grungy
kind of
musically as well as
just,
hygienically.
yeah, of course, right? Look at us, man. And the last group is very like 90s metal. So like just the way that everyone kind of fit into those groups was, I'm not sure if you planned it or not, but was a really good fit.
When I feel like the 3 of us really lucked out because all of the duds in the night are in the other 2 bands.
Yeah, see, I
That's
like to
what they
go,
all say.
like all the guys in our group like to go first because we like to get shit-faced hammered after, and like once we're done our duty from going first, we
free,
can
man.
just get messy.
That's all. I'm glad you said that because I
That's
was
kinda-
wondering if we could swear for this, but
Yeah, sorry.
shit. Awesome. Hey, cool.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, I think we're just like really the thing that separates us from regular cover bands is that we have all this time to sort of put some extra things into it. We know this is coming a year ahead of time. We're looking forward to it because everybody has such a good time, and it's a really good vibe because of the charities that we're working with. It's like
And
every
for
year-
fans of the music scene too that know all the people,
Yeah.
it's one of the only chances they get to see some of their favorite musicians play together that they don't usually get to play together. So.
For sure. Could you name some of the other people that are going to be participating that aren't here with us tonight?
Well, in our group, there's Pete Lowen, Lavin.
which is
I think it's pronounced Laban.
Watchman.
Laban?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, formerly of the Watchmen,
Watchmen.
right? Yeah.
And Damian Ray Nichols from The Secrets.
Yeah, and for my group, we got Mike Smoljovanovic. I call him. I don't even know how to
Small
pronounce-
J.
Yeah, Small
Like
J. I was gonna say that next.
I love that you tried that.
Yeah, I tried so hard.
J.
I'm sure he'll appreciate it.
But he's from Coda, and then Dan LeGrand is from Explicit, and Chris Miller's from Dreadnought, and Doug Darling. Doug Darling.
He's in my band. I
He's
better
in
know
your
him.
band.
Absolutely,
Yeah, exactly. So Civil Disobedients, and I'm just this walk-on street vagrant that they
That's what
gave a
everyone's
chance
been
to.
saying about you,
And
yeah.
that's the thing, and
Yeah.
I write poetry in the bus shack, and that's my gig. So, but yeah, somehow I fit into the equation. I don't know how you came up with that, Clint. You must have been pretty high that night, but yeah,
That night.
I'm just
Yeah,
glad
that
glad to be a part of it because it's a really feel good thing, and we're giving back to the community.
Yeah.
But it's just intrinsic to what we're doing. Like we're just having a good time, and it's like people are benefiting from it.
Well, the
Very cool.
difference
Well, you
for-
mentioned the fundraiser, right? So I want to touch on that. How did you guys choose Darcy's Ark and the Agape Table this year to be the benefactors?
I think every year we switch, right? So just going through the different charities, we always want to do at least one for animals, one for humans, right? So we take that and we kind of review the charities that are available.
Everyone just kind of throws around some ideas. and
Yeah.
I don't know who actually.
Put these two out there,
Suggested,
but
but-
two awesome ones,
Yeah.
regardless. Yeah, really, really stoked.
And the cool thing about that too is I think is that usually there's animal people and then there's human people.
Well, no, when he said that, he's like, oh, I know the people that are like pets are better than people.
Totally.
Right?
So this
you don't
way
mean
we
like
kind of
actual people who are half animal, like
or
dolphin
alien people or anything.
Centaurs.
So excited for a second
Yeah.
there,
But I mean, that's the way you draw people in. Is you go, okay, maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you don't like to give to UNICEF for whatever reason or whatever. But maybe you'll come because you like little kittens, and that's honestly what it is. Is like this way we cover more ground. We can give to a bunch of different deserving charities because there's so many different ones that are deserving in the city. Right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. Tell me about this.
Well, it's a picture of us.
How cool is
There's me.
that, though? Yeah.
look at tattooed Jesus at the top.
So not only do we have the show, which is going to be amazing, they're going to have lots of people singing along and partying with you guys, then we've also got the fundraiser angle, but there's a little bit more to it too. There's almost a little bit of a social feel to it, right? Because we got some raffle prizes.
Yep.
And that's what this is a part of?
Yeah, this is an artist, Larry Nadolski. He drew it up for us, and we're gonna raffle off the original, and then we're gonna have 30 signed prints by all the musicians too, I think.
Yeah. I think that's
And we're gonna
everybody in
sell
there.
those.
Yeah, look.
Like everyone.
That's you.
Yeah, that's
Same tie.
outfit regard.
Perfect.
I wore different hats.
So
Oh, good
I want to point out that the difference between this and a social, and I know that Jeff is going to agree with me, socials are
Play Jesse's
excuses for people to have more expensive weddings than they want. It's ridiculous. Like if you want to have an expensive wedding, pay for it yourself. This
Yeah, let's
is
crush that
actually
right now.
going to good causes. It's not just like
There
but I
are
wanted,
fundraising
like,
socials
I
too,
wanted the
right? And that's
off-white
more
tux,
what
you
this
know, like,
falls into.
for sure. This is like nothing to do with the wedding social.
Right.
All of the proceeds, like none of us are getting paid or anything. Especially this guy, like he's doing all this work for absolutely free.
Yep.
All of the proceeds are going to actual good causes and not just like, you know, someone wants to have their wedding at the art gallery or something.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone who's had their wedding at the art gallery. It's ridiculous.
For real though.
So to wrap it up, you guys all obviously have a great love for the 90s. Who's got a favorite 90s movie or 90s quote, something that you throw out at odd times just because, like, I don't even have a gun, much less many guns that would necessitate an entire rack? Go.
I personally don't remember the 90s.
Just call it the blurry years.
Yeah, I mean, I remember stuff from the 90s, but I can't place it in the 90s. Even coming up with songs for this show, I was thwarted so many times because I thought certain songs from like 2004 were from the 90s.
You didn't just put on Dance Mix 93 and call it a
No,
day?
that's cheating. That's cheating. We came up with these songs from the ground up, so, I mean, we didn't write them, but we...
From the ground up.
From the CDs in our collection.
Dance Mix 93 is the only CD I own, so.
Really?
I actually, I took out like Now 2, and I went on Now 2, and I was like, what is on Now 2 that we could play? And there's some gems on there.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm saying go back to Big Shiny Tunes also.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that would be-
right?
Yeah,
A treasure trove.
Oh, there you go.
Nice. Speaking my
that's a whole
language.
nother thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think for us is like for us all the quotes that we remember from the 90s came from songs. And like, you know, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, all those bands that like, you know, were, you know, Nirvana and then all the ones that you don't think of right away in the 90s that are sort of like these sub-genre, they had maybe one hit, you know, and it was like the 80s, the same thing. There was a lot of one-hit wonders, but these guys had bigger catalogs, but a lot of people didn't know of them. So we have carte blanche to go and pick any songs we want to and like play those songs for the people. And I think a lot of people in the audience that come to these shows appreciate it when they hear those first three chords hit, you know, and then it's like, damn, that's my
jam.
That's my jam.
It's,
Yeah.
like, it's really funny to see people like change from like where they're standing up to the front for different songs. We play people's favorite songs, right? And people just switch. Oh, I know this song, right? Just from the intro. So
I think we've all had that
one of the
moment in the
favorite
bathroom
things.
where you like everything stops and you're like, wait a minute, I love this song.
For sure.
You gotta-
Well, the
you gotta
moment
get
the
on
moment for me, like I mentioned earlier, how I wasn't really into the project. The moment that changed for me was watching these guys on stage the first year, and knowing all the words to all their songs. I felt like a little kid, and I finally understood why this is such a great project. It's awesome.
It was funny
So
for
up
me,
until
Kristin.
then, you hated it.
Yeah, I did.
Pretty much.
Thanks,
I didn't
man.
hate it.
Thank you. We jammed for months before that.
It was
Well,
great.
no. We jammed for months.
Yeah.
He came to one.
I was like maybe one or two. Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me here today. So just to recap, it's the third annual 90s Tribute Show, Saturday, April 2nd at Nashville's, formerly known as the Oak, right? Or still known as the Oak, depending on who you are. Tickets are $10, and where can people get them?
Front desk of Nashville's, or they can go on our Facebook page.
Right, now you
which
have
is-
2 Facebook pages, just so people know, right? There's the nonprofit page, and then there's the event
event
page.
page, yeah.
So go to the event page. Okay. Thanks so much for joining us today, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you have a creative project you'd like to share, we'd love to help you share it. Send us an email at keeptalkintv@gmail.com and like us on Facebook. Next time on Keep Talkin', Juno and Western Canadian Music Award winner Big Dave McLean